Welcome to Employee Relations 101, brought to you by Group 1.
What is employee relations?
Employee relations is the managerial activity that involves establishing and maintaining the positive employee-employer relationships that contribute to satisfactory productivity, motivation, morale, and discipline, and to maintaining a positive, productive, and cohesive work environment.
Employee relations programs are for building and maintaining positive employee relations. Let's discuss some methods for managing employee relations.
Method 1. Ensuring fair treatment. Unfair treatment in the workplace reduces morale, poisons trust, and negatively impacts employee relations and performance. While fair treatment reflects concrete actions such as employees are treated with respect, and employees are treated fairly. Method 2. Preventing bullying and victimization. Bullying and victimization happens when employees single out someone to harass and mistreat them. Bullying involves three things. 1. The imbalance of power, 2. Intent to cause harm, and 3. Repetition. Method 3. Communication. Maintaining positive employee relations requires having special communication programs that let employees express their opinions, and let management know if there is a problem. Some of these programs include suggestion boxes, hotlines, and open-door policies. Method 4. Employee engagement. Employee relations also tend to improve when employees become engaged with the company in positive ways. Method 5. Employee involvement. Employers encourage involvement in various ways like focus groups, suggestion teams, problem-solving teams, and quality circle. Method 6. Recognition. Employee recognition programs are usually company-wide programs. Such programs include Employee of the Month awards. These awards are often distributed at company-hosted special events. The 3 pillars of fair discipline. Pillar number 1, rules and regulations. An acceptable disciplinary process begins with a set of clear rules and regulations. Such should cover problems of theft, destruction, and insubordination. The purpose is to inform employee ahead of time what is. Pillar number 2, penalties. The severity of the penalty usually depends on the offense and the number of times it has happened. Pillar number 3, appeal process. The appeal process should be part of the disciplinary process. The goal is to ensure that supervisors discipline fairly. Roger owns an insurance firm in downtown Houston. Roger is a pretty laid-back kind of boss. He understands the kind of stress his employees are under and tends to look the other way when his employees decide to let a little loose. For example, a group of Roger's insurance brokers go out for lunch a couple times a week and have a cocktail or two with their meal. They return to the firm and get their work done without any problems. However, over the past couple of months, Roger has noticed that Ken comes back from lunch acting strange. Ken always has a water bottle with him, so Roger believes that Ken is behaving responsibly enough. One day, Julia approaches Roger and voices some concerns regarding Ken. She notices his lack of motivation, inability to get work done, and suspects that he comes back from lunch drunk and stays that way the rest of the afternoon. The next day after lunch, Roger pulls Ken into his office and begins to question him regarding his work. Ken dodges the questions. Suddenly, Roger demands that Ken hand over his water bottle. The bottle is full of vodka. Technically, Roger has a zero-tolerance policy for the use of either drugs or alcohol during working hours, despite the fact that he has not generally enforced this policy. Ken admits that he has been having a bit of an alcohol problem and promises to seek help if he can keep his job. Roger still feels that disciplinary action is required. Roger has 3 options. The first is to discipline without punishment. Ken will take 1 day suspension in order to consider whether he will be capable of abiding by the policy. If there are no further incidents, Roger will purge the one-day paid suspension from Kin's file. The second option is punitive discipline. Roger will suspend Kin for 2 weeks without pay. This will cause the other employees in Kin's department to make up the additional workload and Kin will be humiliated. Roger hopes this will set an example for other employees and Kin will be able to seek help. The final option is immediate dismissal. Roger will fire Kin and make it clear to his other employees that Kin's behavior is unacceptable and will not be tolerated from anyone.
Ethics are the principles people use to decide what their conduct should be. Of course, not all conduct involves ethics. Instead, ethical decisions are rooted in morality. Morality refers to society's accepted standards of behaviors.
One method for creating a more ethical environment is to establish an ethics policy and code of conduct. Companies do this in order to signal to their employees that they are serious about ethics. However, establishing these rules is meaningless without enforcing them. Studies have shown that letting your employees know they are being monitored and that the rules will be enforced has the biggest impact.
Number 1. Clarify expectations. Make clear what values or basic belief about what is right or wrong, or about what you should or shouldn't do, you want subordinates to follow. Number 2. Signs and symbols. Symbolism, what the manager actually does, ultimately does the most to create and sustain the company's culture, walk the talk. Number 3. Provide physical support. The physical signs of the employer's values, its incentive plan, appraisal system, and disciplinary procedure. Send strong signals regarding what employees should and should not do. For example, do the promotions employees get reward ethical behavior or penalize?
How to hire the right employee. First, hire ethical people. Second, hire fairly. If it's perceived you appear to be unethical. Third, begin by using recruiting materials that emphasize your firm's commitment to honest dealings and ethics. Then use screening tools like honesty tests, background checks, and interview questions such as have you ever observed someone stretching the rules at work? What did you do about it?
Interview should test job-related criteria and provide an opportunity to demonstrate competence. Respect is key. The interviewer should be polite, and allow a degree of two-way communication.
Employer should provide useful feedback about the employee's or candidate's own performance. Ethics training involves showing employees how to recognize ethical dilemmas, how to apply codes of conduct to resolve problems, and how to use personnel activities like disciplinary practices in ethical ways. Note these 3 points should underline the company's goal and view of correct ethical behavior that is expected.
Onboarding, which is also known as employee orientation, provides new employees with basic background information they need to do their jobs, and it should help them become emotionally vested.
4 things manager wants to accomplish when orienting new employees. 1. Make the new employee feel welcome. 2. New employee should have basic information to function effectively, such as email access, personnel policies and benefits, and expectations in terms of work behavior. 3. Help the new employee understand the organization in a broad sense, its past, present, culture, and strategies and vision of the future. 4. Start socializing the person into the culture and way of doing things.
Emily is not a bad person. However, Emily has run up a bit of credit card debt buying things that she really doesn't need and certainly can't afford. Emily works at a small retail clothing store. The owner is not there very often, so the business is generally overseen by the manager. Emily knows that the manager has a habit of keeping $1 or $2 for herself from every cash purchase. The owner never notices because she is never there and does not closely monitor the books. Emily thinks if the manager takes a little money, why can't she take some money also? She really need the extra cash. Soon, Emily falls into the same thieving habit as the manager. Identify the bad apple, the bad case, and the bad barrel in this situation. Emily is the bad apple because she is inclined to make an unethical choice because of her credit card debt. The bad case is situation created by the absentee owner. The employees know they can get away with just about anything because the owner will not notice. The bad barrel is the environment created by the manager who is already making unethical decisions in the workplace.
When bad apples must deal with bad cases while working in bad barrels, then people tend to act unethically.
Walk the talk, do what you say. Your actions should reflect those ethics and moral expectations. Reduce those pesky job-related pressures by setting achievable measures and goals for your employees. Have an open line of communication in case they are struggling.
John is on the board of a large oil company. The company is losing money. The board of directors, a group of 4 men, hold a meeting to discuss what their options are regarding the future of the company. John asks the board members what they are willing to do to save the company. All replied that they would do anything. John suggests they pull money from retirement funds of their employees to keep them afloat. When better times come around, they will return the money. The board is sure that they can hide this activity from their. John and his fellow board members have decided to apply the ethics test to this dilemma. They ask: is the action legal? Is it right? Who will be affected? Does it fit their company's values? How will it feel afterward? How will it look in the newspaper? Will it reflect poorly on the company? The directors know that the action is illegal. However, they feel that if they pursued this course of action, they would be right in doing so because it would save not only them but the company too. However, if the company's luck does not turn around, they will lose not only their company and their honor, but will also face possible.
Employee relations is the activity that involves establishing and maintaining the post of the employee. Employer relations that contribute to satisfactory productivity, motivation, morale, and discipline, into maintaining a positive, productive, and cohesive work environment. Ethics refers to the principle of conduct governing an individual or group, and specifically to the standards you use to decide what your conduct should be. A fair and just discipline process is based on rules and regulations, a system of progressive penalties, and an appeals process. A number of discipline guidelines.